What happens when a gritty Detroit cop crashes into the flashy world of Beverly Hills? Beverly Hills Cop 1984 didn't just answer that it became a pop culture phenomenon. The film launched Eddie Murphy into superstardom, smashed box office records, and left behind a trail of bizarre behind-the-scenes stories. From casting surprises and ad-libbed comedy to near accidents and unexpected controversies, the movie's journey is as wild as Axel Foley's ride through Beverly Hills. Today, let's dive into 10 weird and fascinating facts about Beverly Hills Cop that will make you see this classic action comedy in a whole new way. It was almost a serious action movie. Originally, Beverly Hills Cop wasn't meant to be a comedy at all. The script was written as a straight action film with no humor. The lead role was envisioned for actors like Sylvester Stallone, who even worked on rewriting the script to fit his style. Stallone wanted a darker, grittier version, with bigger explosions and less comedy. However, budget concerns and creative differences led him to leave the project just weeks before filming. When Eddie Murphy stepped in, he turned it into the fast-talking, joke-filled ride we know today. Without Murphy, this movie would have been completely different. Eddie Murphy ad-libbed most of his dialogue. One of the craziest things about Beverly Hills Cop is that much of Eddie Murphy's dialogue was improvised. His quick wit and comedic timing transformed simple lines into hilarious scenes. The famous Super Cop scene, where Axel Foley tricks his fellow officers into taking credit, was completely unscripted. The actors playing alongside Murphy often broke character and laughed for real, forcing retakes. Director Martin Brest realized Murphy's improvisation was pure gold and allowed him freedom throughout filming. This loose approach helped the movie stand out, blending comedy with action in a way that felt fresh, natural, and unpredictable. The banana in the tailpipe wasn't in the script. One of the most iconic gags in the film, the banana in the tailpipe, wasn't part of the original plan. Eddie Murphy came up with the idea while filming, turning a standard stakeout scene into a memorable comedic moment. The crew used real bananas for the gag, and it worked perfectly. The line, "You're not going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe," became so popular that it's now a phrase used far beyond the movie. That small moment of improvisation perfectly represents how Murphy's instincts transformed a generic cop film into a timeless comedy classic. Sylvester Stallone's Cobra was born from this film. When Sylvester Stallone left Beverly Hills Cop due to creative differences, he didn't abandon his darker version of the story. Instead, he reworked his ideas into another film, Cobra 1986. That movie took the gritty crime thriller approach Stallone wanted for Axel Foley. Ironically, while Cobra was moderately successful, it couldn't come close to the massive box office power of Beverly Hills Cop. It's strange to think that one Hollywood star's rejected script created not only a comedy classic for Eddie Murphy, but also birthed a totally different cult action movie led by Stallone himself. Martin Brest was almost fired during filming. Director Martin Brest, who crafted the movie's unique mix of action and comedy, nearly lost his job during production. Studio executives were nervous about the film's direction, especially with all the improvisation and humor overshadowing the original action script. They considered replacing him with another director mid-production. Fortunately, Brest was kept on, largely because Eddie Murphy's performance convinced everyone that the comedy angle was working. In the end, Brest's style turned Beverly Hills Cop into a groundbreaking hit. Without him, the movie might have been just another forgettable cop thriller lost in the 1980s shuffle. The soundtrack became a cultural phenomenon. The film's soundtrack wasn't just background music, it became iconic. The electronic theme song Axel F, composed by Harold Faltermeyer, exploded into a worldwide hit. It topped charts across the globe and became one of the most recognizable instrumental themes of the decade. Beyond Axel F, the soundtrack featured energetic pop hits that perfectly matched the flashy Beverly Hills setting. The music helped define the film's tone, making it feel modern, fun, and stylish. Even people who have never seen Beverly Hills Cop instantly recognize the theme song today, proving how much the soundtrack fueled the movie's lasting legacy. Eddie Murphy wasn't the first choice. Although it's impossible to imagine anyone else as Axel Foley, Eddie Murphy wasn't the studio's first choice. Before him, actors like Al Pacino, Richard Pryor, and even Mickey Rourke were considered for the role. In fact, Mickey Rourke was signed on but dropped out after production delays. When the role finally landed on Murphy, everything clicked into place. His comedic style brought Axel Foley to life in a way no one else could. Sometimes Hollywood what-ifs are fun, but in this case, the casting choice was perfect. Without Murphy, the movie probably wouldn't be remembered today. Judge Reinhold improvised his quirky character. Judge Reinhold, who played Detective Billy Rosewood, added his own brand of humor to the film. Originally, Rosewood was written as a straightforward sidekick, but Reinhold decided to make him a bit quirky and overly enthusiastic. His improvisation gave Rosewood a goofy charm that balanced perfectly with Murphy's confident Axel Foley. Reinhold's chemistry with John Ashton, who played Taggart, created one of the most lovable cop duos of the 1980s. Fans enjoyed their awkward but endearing presence so much that both characters returned for the sequels. Reinhold's choice to play Rosewood with oddball energy helped shape the movie's charm. The movie was a surprise box office smash. When Beverly Hills Cop hit theaters in December 1984, no one expected it to dominate the box office, yet it became the highest-grossing movie of 1984 in the United States, beating out huge hits like Ghostbusters and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The film earned over $300 million worldwide, proving that Eddie Murphy was a true box office powerhouse. What's weird is that it wasn't marketed as a sure blockbuster. The studio had modest expectations, but word of mouth and Murphy's magnetic performance made it a cultural event. It was the ultimate underdog surprise success. A near accident happened during filming. While Beverly Hills Cop is a comedy, its action scenes were very real and sometimes dangerous. During one chase sequence, Eddie Murphy narrowly avoided a serious accident when a stunt involving cars went wrong. Though he wasn't a trained stuntman, Murphy insisted on doing some of his own scenes for authenticity. The near miss scared the crew, but Murphy shook it off and kept going. These intense action moments helped the film feel exciting and real, but they also showed how risky Hollywood productions could be in the 1980s. Luckily, Murphy escaped unharmed, and the film became a classic.